Focus Jammu and Kashmir, where after the encounter in which the terror attack, where 4 Indian Army soldiers lost their life, now a brigade commander has been attached. Now the action has been taken after a formal inquiry into 3 civilian deaths what has taken place. Now a probe there is going to be a probe of high casualties among the soldiers and officers as well. Meanwhile, the mortal remains of the 4 soldiers killed in the action during the last Thursday's terror attack in Rajouri are being flown to their villages. In fact, the army has said and has constituted an inquiry to appropriate responsibility for the conduct of the operation, and after the video which has emerged showing innocent civilians being tortured in custody. Sources have told NDTV that inquiry to fix responsibility is going to be initiated. The army has zero tolerance for violence against innocent civilians, zero tolerance for violence, and stern action will be taken against anyone who is found involved in the torture of the innocent civilians. Meanwhile, financial compensation from various agencies for the families of those killed, civilians who have been killed, has also been extended. An inquiry is on presently, and officers in command may be asked to stand down until the results of the inquiry are over. Meanwhile, the army chief he's in Jammu and Kashmir today, and he travelled to the command headquarters. The army chief is expected also to travel to Rajouri and talk about and meet the commanders there for the preparedness in anti-terror operation. My colleague Nazir Masoodi is joining us with more details on this. Nazir, 2 important parallel actions. One, to initiate inquiry to see what went wrong as far as the number of soldiers, the high casualty of soldiers and officers is concerned, and very importantly, number 2, an inquiry to see what led to that torture and killing of the 3 innocent civilians.
Yeah, exactly. Number 1, it is Army Chief was in Poonch today. He met the commanders. The pictures you see, Army Chief meeting the formation commanders there in Poonch. And it is the operations, what is happening there because of the series of attacks, why it's happening, why it's not stopping, why militants, get away after almost every attack on army, and the very, very high level of casualties army has suffered in last 7 months. And also, the aftermath of this attack goes against what army actually stands for, which is the alleged torture of the civilians, and death of 3 civilians, injuries to around 12 civilians who are lifted to hospital. Officials say they are responding to the treatment and their condition is stable. But villagers are saying, and the political parties say, there has been custodial torture which led to the death of 3 persons, and others who are eyewitness victims of that torture are in hospital. So army has been saying that there is zero tolerance against any sort of human rights violation, particularly in this region, where people, the tribal community, has always stood behind the army, which army has publicly said in the past, whether these were war or it was militancy. Army, these people have always supported army and police and the security force. Now the same people are in the receiving end. We saw it happen in front of eyes when these villagers were being detained for questioning on Friday morning. But in the evening, we heard 3 civilians have been killed. So what army has done? They have instituted an inquiry to look into the, what exactly has happened, which will actually determine why there is spike in militancy and why there is not proper response. That is why now a brigadier level officer and 2 other officers have been removed from the command. They have been asked to join the investigation. Second thing, to assuage the feelings of locals, because at the heart of any counterinsurgency, people have to be on your side. And this, death of these and torture of other civilians would go against that spirit and against that strategy of the security force. That is why Army Chief Diop himself being at the operation site sends a message there. The army will take corrective measures, and army looks into this situation very, very seriously at the highest level.